So the trailer for Star Wars Visions has dropped. Apparently, there's the main version and then an English dub version. So I'm going to be reacting to them both. See what's the difference. Because normally you don't see that. Now sometimes, like, I will for fun go watch like the German trailers for the films just because, and those are normally dubbed into German. But this I find interesting because normally English is not the one I find being dubbed. This kind of indicates that it's going to be in Japanese since they are, using Japanese and anime studios to create these shows. So we're going to start with the original trailer, the one that's most likely in Japanese. And yeah, let's just jump right on in.
うちの祖先がこの宝刀を託される。その刀を常に全力で支え合う。そいつはお前のもんじゃ。I am getting some lightsaber. Get some vibes from like some old samurai from Suicide opening. Whoa. Okay. Some classic music. Whoa. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Whoa. Interesting. Interesting. September 22nd, so we got a date. If it wasn't for the subtitles, I would have no idea what's going on. Well, maybe a tiny bit. Okay. Interesting. The sounds are what's most familiar. Mainly because I don't watch anime. The Star Wars sounds, I should say. Interesting. I'm guessing that's Visions in Japanese. Okay, so that's that version, the original version, as you say, the version that us English speakers will be like, only if you're into anime would you really know what is going on. And for someone like me, the only things I could really identify are the Star Wars related things. So if there's any kind of Japanese cultural stuff going on, I'm probably, especially more recent culture, I'm probably not gonna be that aware of. Mainly because I know more of the history of Japan than I do current Japan. But that opening did give me some vibes from older samurai films, the kind that I went on to in Star Wars. But let's go watch the English dub version now, and let's see my reaction to it, because I should be able to understand at least what they're saying in this one. I'll probably do more stopping in this one, only because, it's the one I'm going to be probably able to better respond with. Long ago, a great warrior came to this village and entrusted our looks like they're showing some clips from multiple. So I'm just going to stop this. It sounds like the opening, the narration's from one, but the clips are from that same one, but a few of the other installments. I'm going to call them for now until we know what the individual episodes are going to be called. But yeah, I do want to say, this opening is what was the most familiar to me of everything in the first trailer, even though that the first trailer was in Japanese. And I think that's largely because I feel like it's taking more from like the old style instead I read from like Akira Kurosawa's, I think that's how I say his name, Seven Samurai. Those kind of samurai films, I'm more familiar with them than I am more recent Japanese media. Now lie with you. And open a box to reveal a lightsaber. That looks like a very nice lightsaber design. I'm getting the impression that part of its design is being taken from the hilt of the swords used by samurai. I think they're katanas. Is one of them that they use, I think. Again, I'm not that familiar, but I'm getting those vibes from it, so I do want to point that out. But it's also a clear lightsaber. Then we change, of course, style, and some more crazy stuff, for lack of a better term. Different animation styles, which is, I think, is going to be the coolest part of this. So that there, let's go. That there is what I find most interesting. So we got the Star Destroyer, and we got something down the center. And the Japanese style arches that you often see at shrines and temples, and then sometimes in touristy areas when people are trying to replicate. Oh, this is Japan. They saw these around, I'm sure. That's what I'm getting the vibe of that center thing. And we've seen things similar to that actually in Star Wars. But that's a vibe I'm getting from this shot. Hmm. Have vision animation. Just amazing Star Wars stuff going on with the Force. And Speedo from all corners of the galaxy. Hmm. We know there is going to be a story with only one story with original characters, and that I believe is going to be going to have Boba Fett in it. So that's why we see the Slave One. We got some droids going on. This right here, very much reminiscent of the TIE fighter used by the Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels. The prototype TIE Advance. Not what Vader had, but the prototype. So I do find that very interesting how they're incorporating that into this show, which I do like. And of course, different animation styles as we've known before. Ancient sinister. Interesting. Those two sides I think were connected. Okay, so it looks like at least one story is going to be talking about found family, which has been a theme in Star Wars a lot. So that's something to note. You got some interesting stuff going on. Venture to familiar worlds, yeah. Vintage classic, I'm guessing. Oh, location of it. And we got lightsaber dudes and waiting for Okay, so interesting. While most of it is being dubbed into English, this maybe the first with you line was not. That's interesting. So what that's indicating to me that this character, or maybe not this character, but this character, but the character who's speaking that line is probably not even speaking the traditional Japan or what's normally spoken in Japan for Japanese, meaning like an older dialect or another language. Because why in both versions is this one line not dubbed? Everything else has been dubbed so far, but this one line isn't. May the force be with you. I think there's going to be a significance to that, whether because the character itself is speaking another language and therefore needs to be subtitled for our benefit as the audience, no matter what language we are speaking. But it was subtitled this way, exactly the same in the other version too. Could be maybe this is one that they're not subbing. That is a possibility. But I do find it interesting, and I have a feeling there is a legitimate reason why, and we probably won't find out till Division drops. But hey, that's what we gotta wait for. It gives us something to look forward to, something to ponder. We got some just interesting stuff going on that I just don't know, like what they're trying to say because it's just simple clips. But it's definitely very visually interesting, I'm gonna say, because of all these different designs.
I accept this responsibility.
And that there responds to basically the opening scene. So we're going to get someone who's been given a lightsaber in a time, I'm guessing, when the Jedi are no more or extremely limited. No, after the rise of the Galactic Empire. There's actually, I know one story that talks about the Jedi serving the Empire, which could mean a Empire in the future or an Empire in the past, or just an alternative take on the current canon. It's very possible. And
and just to iterate, Visions for me is going to be more like, I'm going to treat it more like the Lego Star Wars. They are saying something about the canon, and may reveal something new in the canon, but are not necessarily canon themselves. But they may be, they may not be, it all depends. So really, I'm just looking for some fun Star Wars stories. That's really what I'm hoping to get out of Visions. We're going to get some over the top spectacular lightsaber duels, which I gotta be honest is something I, of course, am expecting out of anything anime inspired. Because to me, as a person who's not into it, everything seems over the top and outlandish a bit in anime. Not necessarily, but that's the impression I often get from what ends up being popularized in Western media. Like I never watched Dragon Ball Z, but that's way over the top to me from what I see online. So this is gonna be probably my best look into an anime for a person who just never got into it, never really cared for it. Okay, I find this interesting. So we got Visions now in English, and it's being reflected in Japanese. Just going back here. Here is Visions in Japanese, but it's not being reflected downward in Japanese or in English. So I find that's a very interesting choice. So they're still including the Japanese characters, which I'm like, neat. I mean, very neat. And of course, it's streaming September 22nd. So hopefully, I'll be able to do reviews the next day after the episode comes out. I probably need to finish my Bad Batch reviews. I'm way behind those. But yeah, in Disney Plus. So yeah. Let's go back here because I like that view. So there you go. That is Visions, the trailer. So the English dub trailer and the original trailer. Both trailers will be linked down below. Normally I don't react to two trailers at a time, but I felt it important. Because I could have done them separately, but each trailer does have different feelings about them, mainly because of that language thing. Now, granted, when it comes to media, music sound effects, and visuals are as important as the spoken dialogue, the language used in order to convey something. And considering all the visuals were the same, the sound effects were the same, and the music were the same, it was only the language of the dialogue that changed. And that did create a different feeling. I felt more sure of myself in the language I understood. I have seen Japanese people, they grow up watching, Japanese as a language. They feel more natural, more sure with the Japanese language trailer than the English language dub trailer, just because it's what they're familiar with. But yeah, that is actually where I'm going to end this reaction. I've discussed my thoughts about it and all that. Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts seeing these trailers? How excited are you for Visions? I myself am excited. I'm looking for something different from this. Something that's not normal for Star Wars, but still feels Star Wars. We'll see, but that's really what I'm looking for. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, please consider liking the video if you're on YouTube or upvoting it on Patreon, and feel free to share it across the social medias and follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, the usual. All links will be down below. Also, just consider, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and if you're on Patreon, you can either follow or subscribe. The choice is yours. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. So as always, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.